We got this email, rad@radradio.com. It's from Kathleen.
Hi, Kathleen.
If you're watching us on Rad TV at members.radradio.com, you already know that Shelby Elias from financewithshelby.com and on Instagram with his name, at Shelby Elias, Elias, is in studio with us again this morning. Hello, Shelby.
Good morning.
Last time you were here, we talked about the Dream for All program part 2, which part 1 is what got Kyle into his very first. Is it a townhome, a condo?
It's a condo, they call it. Yeah.
And it was coming back. Yeah. Did it come and go? Is it still coming back?
Nope, it's coming back.
Okay, let's remind people first of all what it is, because it's a really exciting program for a lot of people.
It's one of the best programs we've ever had. So the Dream for All program allows home buyers to get a 20% grant that is shared in an equity position. So you do have to pay it back when you sell or refinance the home. But what this does for a homeowner is it allows them to get 20% down, and they don't need to come out of pocket with it. So they literally pay nothing down. They pay no closing costs. They have a large down payment, so it brings their payment down. And the only thing that they have to do is when they buy or sell, they have to pay that back, and then they also share in the equity position of the home when they sell. So if your home appreciates $100,000, when you sell that home, you have to give back 20% of that $100,000. So I know some people think, well, wait a second, I don't want to share my equity. No, you do want to share your equity because they gave you all of the money to buy. You have an 80% position. They only have a 20% position, and they gave you all of the money. So great product. We just don't know exactly when it's going to be released. But
and the last time it went in days.
Oh, it went in 11 days, all the funds.
Now, you have to be a first-time home buyer.
Yes.
Does that include people who qualify as first-time home buyers, which you've educated us means you just haven't owned a home in 3 years?
Correct.
Now, let me ask you this. If it doesn't matter whether she has or hasn't, if Kyle's girlfriend has never bought a home, could she use this program to buy a home that they will live in, and he immediately turns his condo into a rental?
Correct, as long as you're not married. So it could be your fiance or whatever.
And they don't have to be married.
Correct.
Which they are.
So do I have to live in there for a year as well, or does it just have to be my primary residence for a year, and then I just don't put down I'm in a primary residence on her location?
You can't qualify on her alone.
Oh,
so she would need to qualify all on her own, and then she can buy that as her primary. She lives there for a year. So, on your strategy, what you want to do is you want to buy your first home, put a low down payment, or in your case, no down payment. You live in there for a year, then you move out and you buy another property. You turn your current property into a rental. Yes. You can use that rental income to qualify for the next property. You cash flow your first property, and then you buy another property, move in it with a low down payment, and you continue that cycle over and over and over, and just removing yourself from as being the primary and turning it into an investment property. So that's how you build your investment portfolio.
Back to that program, it feels like for most people that want to buy a house, that's like the hardest thing, coming up with the down payment. Like their income might be great. They might even have worked on their credit, and they're like, oh my gosh, but I just can't save that amount of money. So my God, that alone, that is just so amazing.
Payment affordability is really tough right now, but when you're putting 20% down, it makes your payment a lot more affordable.
So I brought all that up and asked about the Kyle scenario because there oftentimes the answer is with you almost always yes, unless it's an absolute no. So there's a way oftentimes to get around things, and that's what Kathleen is writing about. Again, we don't know exactly when Dream for All is coming back. Yeah. We know it is. And we know that when it does, it'll go quickly. Mm-hmm. So people should contact you now to be ready, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of things you can do now to get people ready. So Kathleen said, on the Dream for All program, do you have to live in the house or can you rent it out? We kind of answered that with Kyle, but here's her situation. I live on the business property my family owns, and I work here as well, so I don't want to move, but I would love to get some real estate for myself.
You have to move into the property.
Now, how is that documented? How is that enforced?
So they do what's called an occupancy check. So if they sniff anything out, like if you mail your tax returns to a different address, they could, queue it up. If you change your homeowner's insurance policy to a different address or add a tenant to the policy, then they can check that out, and they do an occupancy check, and it is mortgage fraud. So I know a lot of people try to come, with that and say, oh, well, can I just say it's my primary? No, you can't. You don't want to commit more.
So she would just have to bite the bullet and move for at least a year and not live on the very farm that she works in. And then she can move back to the farm.
Yeah, exactly.
And then she can rent it and start to build her portfolio in the way that we just talked about.
Exactly.
All right. So that's coming up. We don't know when. But I know you're very excited about EEMs. But I got to ask you about these first because, as you know, almost everything's political in this country. There's almost nothing we can agree on.
Yeah.
And so the minute people hear words, they get triggered.
Yeah.
Either in really good ways or really bad ways. And there's going to be a portion of people who hear an EEM, which is energy efficient mortgage.
Yep.
Or, as it's also known, a green mortgage. And they're going to go, oh, for God's sakes, more of this planet-saving mumbo jumbo.
I just literally moaned.
Let me guess. I can't have a gas stove, and none of my appliances are going to run except on hamster
They're
wheels.
going to limit when I can do laundry?
So, before we get into the specifics, there has to be a way to take advantage of this, but do we want to? Is this a good thing?
Yeah, it is, because right now payment affordability is the biggest nightmare, right? Things cost more. Your mortgage payment is going to be higher. So with this energy efficient mortgage, what it allows you to do, it's a regular Fannie Mae product, okay? We're the only ones that offer this, by the way. So we rolled this out. And
this is exclusively to United Wholesale.
It's not exclusively to us, but nobody has the guidelines and has rolled this product out except for us. So you would need to come through us, but it works on a home purchase. So if you were to buy a home, normally you'd always have to come out of pocket with your washer, dryer, stove, fridge, all of those things. They don't come with the home. So what most people do is they buy the house, then they charge that up on a credit card. What this energy efficient mortgage allows you to do is you can finance all of that into your loan. So if the home needs new windows, you can get new windows. If it needs a new roof, insulation, all new appliances, if you want to put solar on the house, which will bring down your monthly payment, that can all be rolled into the loan. So as a first-time home buyer, you only need to put 3% down. With this energy efficient mortgage, it allows you to roll in 15% of whatever the home's price is as upgrades to the home.
Wow.
So on a $500,000 house, that's $70,000.
Whoa.
So you can add solar, you can add energy efficient appliances, windows, insulation.
My God, so many things. With
Turf,
that kind of money.
everything. I mean, $70,000.
Jesus.
And
Great.
the house doesn't, quote unquote, need those improvements. Like the house can be fairly new or it can be really old.
I mean, you could buy a Sub-Zero fridge if it's energy efficient, or a Wolf Range or something like that. Like there's no limit. As long as it's energy efficient, then you can do it. So there's no income caps, on this. It's a phenomenal product. We're super excited about it. I think it's going to help a lot of people out.
You mentioned a Sub-Zero fridge as long as it's energy efficient. And this is another thing that people, again, they can get a little jumpy about, because a lot of people see or hear energy efficient and they think, oh, it's a crap product. But we've really come a long way with this stuff.
Yeah.
And as long as it qualifies, that's all that matters.
Yes.
And they're actually, in that example, they're top notch. And so people who, but I got a really high powered fridge. It's the same goddamn thing.
Yeah.
Because that's going to be some of the objections. So you do have to be a first time home buyer. Is there any EEM available in any way to homeowners?
So you don't need to be a first-time home buyer for the energy efficient mortgage.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just if you want to put 3% down.
Got it.
So, that's a great product. Now, in addition to this product too, what you can do is you could stack all of the rebates on. So there's state incentives. So if you got like an electric heat pump, there's an incentive there, and it's going to come in the form of a federal tax credit. So when you go to file your taxes, you're going to be getting all of these incentives back. If you put an EV charger in your home, energy efficient HVAC, all of those types of things, there's state incentives that you can get back. Now, a massive incentive is when you add solar to your home, you get a 30% federal tax credit. So 30% comes back to you when you file your taxes. So imagine you only put on a $500,000 home, you're only putting $15,000 down as a first-time home buyer. Then you spend $70,000 on energy efficient upgrades that you're not coming out of pocket for. And then you get 30% of $70,000 back. So essentially that's covering your entire down payment.
That's $21,000 for those of you bad at math.
There you go.
Now, all of those are only for home buyers. Is there any way to use this if you own a home? Can you refinance under this and improve your existing home's appliances?
Yeah, and the reason why I don't bring that up is because right now,
Oh, sorry.
most people
Seems like a
blew my
natural
cover.
question.
So this is something that you will want to utilize in the future, but right now it's just not smart to do that. Here's the reason why. Because right now, if you own a home, odds are you have a lower interest rate than where interest rates are right now. So you wouldn't want to refinance to add these energy efficient things because now your interest rate's going to go up.
The math doesn't work for what you might get?
It shouldn't. It's not a smart financial decision. So when in the future, when rates do fall, now you can take an energy efficient mortgage. You can even pay off credit cards that were used for energy efficient upgrades. So you can go and roll in your solar payment. You can roll in your energy efficient credit cards. You can roll all of these things in. And traditionally, that would be a cash out refinance. But under this program, it's considered a rate and term, which will give you a lower interest rate.
How hard is it to qualify for the EEM as a home buyer?
It's literally the exact same process. So if you're in the market right now to buy a home, you just, you can contact me. I run an energy efficient assessment on your home. So whatever home that you're looking to buy, we run that. It'll tell us every single state incentive that you qualify for, what federal tax incentives that you can get back. It goes through each piece of your home, your HVAC, your roof, your appliances, everything, and it will break everything down to show you how to make the smartest financial choices.
It's available through FHA and VA?
FHA, yes. We haven't rolled out VA yet.
Okay, but it will?
Yeah, FHA, yeah.
This is why those of us that cringe when we hear something climate from the government have to listen.
Yeah.
Because that all sounded amazing, and there was nothing in there that told me I have to live a certain way, right?
Yeah.
Because you're still getting good appliances, and we have some of those in our house. They don't take away from the job. The other ones did. But
Yeah.
there wasn't like, you must live this way, and you must, there were no like rules attached.
Yeah. Here's kind of a crazy fact too is a lot of the homes they're older because there was that whole lull in construction, right? From 2007 till about 2015, we weren't even building any homes to keep up with the demand. So there's a lot older homes out there. I think some of the stats state 80% of homes are at least 40 years old. So it's crazy. I mean, it's just a large number of homes that need these upgrades. And with this product, it allows you to make the upgrades so you can be confident in buying a home, because there's a lot of homes that people walk into and they're like, oh my gosh, this HVAC's pretty old. That's a large expense. That could hit you and be $5,000, $10,000 to fix that. A roof, that's a $20,000 or more expense. And you can't just go and get a roof loan. So, what are you going to do? That's why when you drive by people's homes, you see a roof or a tarp on the roof and you're like, why do they have that? Because it's $20,000 to get a new roof.
You do business in a lot of states. Is this a California only thing, this EEM thing?
Yeah, no, we can roll this out in multiple states. Yeah.
And of course, there's still the federal thing is national for like the solar thing.
Yep.
But it can be rolled out in multiple states, so they just got to contact you directly.
Yes. Yeah.
It's Shelby Elias from financewithshelby.com. He's on Instagram at his name, Shelby E. Elias, Elias. I know I stepped in it there, but people ask.
Yeah.
And you've been coming on for a year about this subject. We hate the predictions, but people always want to get your temperature.
Yeah.
Madison wrote in and said, "What is your prediction of when rates will start to go down?"
Yeah.
And you bring up home buyers. Should people be buying homes? Because I know your answer is always yes.
Yeah.
So let's lump that all into one big answer of why should they even be buying, and when are these damn rates going down?
Yeah. I remember when everybody's hitting me, and every time I'd say, look, this is what I think. And it was always, the market's not going to collapse. Remember that about a year ago? Everyone was like, oh my gosh,
That's
it's
right.
going to collapse. I'm like, no, buy. And if they listened, they're winning. But right now you're looking at probably between, I'd say in the next year, sometime in the next year, interest rates should come down. So right now, interest rates are still up, but why I think it's a good time to buy is because you can refinance when rates come down. We know, everybody knows that everybody's sitting on the sidelines just waiting for that opportunity. And we've all been in the position where you wanted to buy and you couldn't because it was such a competitive market that you couldn't even get in, or you're buying a house you didn't even like. So right now it gives you the opportunity, if you can afford the monthly payment as a worst case scenario, and you're comfortable with where your payment is right now, then it can only get better in the future when you have the opportunity to refi.
Write it out for that year-ish.
Yeah.
And then you can try to time out when you refinance kind of thing.
It's not
Exactly.
like rent is cheap either right
No.
now.
No.
Some of these rents that I hear, I'm all, that's a mortgage.
Yeah.
Sometimes more.
Yes.
And you're paying
So-
someone else's mortgage and getting no benefit
Yeah,
for it.
if you are in that position where it's already that chunk of money, you're already used to paying that.
Yeah.
And it would just be now you're paying it for something you owe.
Phone number is
Oh.
888-989-9811. You can email us, rad@radradio.com, with Shelby Elias from financewithshelby.com. Alex wants to go bigger. He says, Shelby, do you think rates will ever be back down below 4%, whether a year from now or 10 years from now?
I don't know about 4%. That's pretty aggressive.
Even
Well,
within 10 years?
I mean, maybe. We had some really low interest rates, and I think we're feeling the pain because of that. They were really low for a long time. So I think an accurate depiction would maybe be 4.875.
We've joked about this before because you have the perspective of time. I bought my first home 31 years ago, and no one could believe, from my father to anyone at that time over 40, that my interest rate was 7.25%.
Yeah.
It was a stunning interest rate in the early 90s.
Yeah.
And now that's kind of where we're at now from what I hear, and it's making people's heads explode.
Yeah.
But that's how much this fluctuates.
Yeah.
Well, but even like because of where we got with interest rates, hearing Shelby say it'll get to 4 point something, I'm like, whoa,
Yeah.
like, because some people were likely to get much lower than that, right? There was
Yeah.
that time frame. So it's just like for some, they'll hear that and go, that's it? That's as low as it'll go? That
Got
sounds
some
great compared to now.
emails here talking about the EEM/green mortgage. Anthony wrote in. He says, I'm currently in escrow. Can I still qualify for the EEM?
It depends how long your escrow period is. If you just got into escrow and you have 30 days left, then yes, you can still, transfer over, but you can't use the loan officer that you're using currently because they most likely don't have the product. So you'd have to contact me, get pre-approved with me. I can resubmit that loan under that product and hopefully save the day.
And we've talked about this before. Do they have to have that uncomfortable conversation where they're firing their who they're working with? Because a lot of people go, oh, he's a nice guy. I've been working with him.
Yeah, no, you don't have to fire them. You just don't ever have to call them back.
You just take over.
I think this is such a big thing when you say it because honestly, I just have literally never even heard someone talk about that they would be allowed to switch once they're in
Yeah.
escrow. Like that is powerful piece of information to have.
It's a
Because at
30-year
that-
investment.
Yep, but at that point you think you're in and you're stuck and there's no way to switch to someone else. So I just think that it sounds like a small thing to say, but it's huge information for people.
Yeah.
Becky wrote in and says, my husband and I bought a home in 2020. I am not on the loan as his credit and income were way above mine, so its interest rate was way better without me. Would I be able to qualify for the Dream for All program without him on my loan, which, again, we don't know when that's coming back, but it is coming back. That's totally different from the EEM, so people don't get confused.
Yes, unfortunately, because you're married, you cannot.
That's what you get for being married. Here's one we've never had before from Jay.
Hi, Jay.
Hi, Rob. Can you ask Shelby if he has any Spanish-speaking personnel in his office? I've got many family members that will find all this info very helpful, but they are not fluent in English.
Yes, we do.
How would they?
Nice.
So what do they do? So maybe he contacts
Yeah, he
you?
just fills out the form on the website, writes in the notes that he needs a Spanish-speaking loan officer, and we will hook him up.
Oh, well, that's easy.
Lovely.
Yeah.
I love that.
So that's at financewithshelby.com. Okay, so not yet on the EEM. Now we're back to the green mortgage. If you're a home owner and you're thinking, oh, what a great way for me to refinance, mainly because interest rates are so high,
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense, et cetera. Okay, or if you don't qualify, other options available to assist with funding for home improvement, because people are still looking at home improvement.
Yeah.
And what else do we have out there that they could look at?
So that's probably the number one question that I get is when somebody buys a home, they think, well, how can I finance the upgrades, right? And traditionally it's, no, you can't finance the upgrades. But we do have a renovation loan as well that will allow you to finance the upgrades. The majority of an upgrade to the home is HVAC, windows, roof, appliances. Like that's pretty much going to get you through the majority of what needs to get done on a home. So I'd recommend the EEM mortgage, but there is a renovation loan as well that we can use that will include all the repairs like flooring and new countertops and things like that.
Phone number is 888-989-9811. Hi, Jeff. Oh, Jeff went away. How rude.
Well, email us.
Jay, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Brad.
Hey.
Morning.
Hey, I had a question for Shelby. I was recently contacted by a random company solicitor about some sort of program to get new free windows, and that it would all be covered, and basically I'm paying nothing out of pocket. However, I'm skeptical about it.
Yeah, I think what that does is that program goes against your taxes. So there is a program out there that they'll give you new windows and insulation and things of that nature, and they put a lien against your property taxes. The only thing with that product is the pricing is way higher. So what I would recommend doing is getting a window quote from them and then go and shop that quote to see how far off that they are. But that's what I've seen with that product. I believe it's called a PACE loan. But yeah, I've dealt with those in the past, and that's my recommendation.
You don't seem like a fan.
It's not. I've had to refinance a lot of people out of those, and I'm like, oh my gosh, how did you pay them?
The name sounds sleazy.
Pace?
Yeah.
Well, you don't like Picante
loan
sauce?
or whatever? It just sounded.
Zachary says, I have a question for Shelby. I remember you guys talking about how a pool will turn off about 50% of potential home buyers because not everybody wants a pool, is the theory there.
Yeah.
Long story short, I just renovated my backyard to go from all dirt hill to having a gas fire pit, a patio retaining wall, and some grass. After I finished it, I wondered how could this affect my potential selling of the property with the fire pit specifically. Basically, I'm asking, did I just make a mistake and spend a lot of money on something that doesn't have a lot of resale value?
There are emotional, investments as well. So you get some emotional, you get some good times, and there's some value there. But yeah, you're never going to get the money out of putting in that amazing backyard. What it will do, though, is it will appeal to more people when they are buying your house. It's like putting rims on a car, right? That car is going to sell faster, may sell for a little bit more money, but you're never getting all of the money out.
There is no perfect backyard, is there, that you would say you do this and it will absolutely be the most likely to sell? Or do you have a template?
Well, in some markets, like Arizona, if you have a really awesome backyard, people live outside 8 months out of the year. So they're literally judging the backyard as much as the front yard. Palm Springs, places like that, where they spend all their time in the backyard. So that might make sense. But, here in California, it rains quite a bit. So it's not the best.
We got Jeff back. Hello, Jeff.
Hello.
Go ahead.
I have a home. It's in a trust. It's paid off. I just recently took out a mortgage against it to do new windows and siding. Is there anything I can do to get rebates back on that?
Yes. So what you want to do is you can reach out to me direct. I can guide you through the state incentives, and you'll provide that information to your CPA, and he will give you those write-offs.
A couple of emails, rad@radradio.com. Again, we're with Shelby Elias from financewithshelby.com. Amelia says, can Shelby let me know what type of credit score you need for the Dream for All program? I realize it could change when it's released again, but historically, what has it been?
We really want to see around a 660. So 660 credit score.
And that's the first time homebuyer program. Hasn't been re-released yet. Did it once. That's how Kyle got into his condo.
Yes, sir.
It goes quickly when it happens. And then there's the EEM, which is the green mortgage. And Ashnell wrote in and said, can a minor qualify as a primary buyer but have parents' income and as a co-signer? By the way, the minor's a junior in high school. I'm trying to take advantage of the 20% down payment assistance. So this is the EEM. Is there any way to work this?
Unfortunately not. No, it's not going to work.
What if they're 18? Would it work then?
If you're 18 years old, it may possibly work if you add on as a co-signer, but I don't believe it has non-occupying co-signers. So you would also have to live in the home as well.
Troy wrote in and said, so we're back to the EEM. So you're buying a home and then you're upgrading a bunch of the appliances and all the efficiency. He says, could you talk more about adding those home upgrades to the loan? Doesn't that mean in that case, by default, a person is looking to pay interest for 30 years on your additions?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you are financing all of those things into the loan. Where it really helps you out is you're getting all of those incentives. So just the example of solar alone. If you get solar on your home, now you're fixing your energy cost. So it's not going to continue to rise, which it's done forever. And then you get a 30% federal tax credit back to you. So it's going to far outweigh how much it's going to cost you in interest. And really, if you were to buy that on the secondary market, it costs you a heck of a lot more. So,
Hello, Janira. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. I have a question for Shelby. I tried a couple months to do a loan. We are owner finance, and we have a year to fix the house and make it livable and refinance it through a bank loan. And I was wondering if we would qualify for, because it is a fixer-upper and there's a bunch of stuff, obviously, that's wrong with it, if we are able to refinance through a bank and then do all those energy efficient upgrades and whatnot.
yeah, so it sounds like the home needs more than just the energy efficient upgrades. If that's the case, then you would want to look into the renovation loan. So you can do a renovation refinance, fix up the home, and I think that'll work out for you.
Jameson wrote in about upgrades and do-it-yourself. Says, hey, Shelby, we just completed a do-it-yourself kitchen remodel, which that's one of your favorites.
Oh, yeah.
Kitchen, bathroom. Those are the two main things, right?
Yeah.
Do we need to update our homeowner's insurance or get it appraised to cover it in the future?
Yes, that is a very good question. I ran into that when there was the fires in Tahoe. I called my homeowner's insurance guy. I said, hey, I just want to make sure that I'm covered. And he's like, well, yeah, of course you're covered. And I said, yeah, but I did a huge remodel. And he's like, no. And it was too late. So he's like, your replacement cost is not covered. If your house burns down, you're only getting this much back. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So it's very important that when you do the upgrades, call your homeowner's insurance, you get the replacement cost upgraded in case something were to happen.
That's also a very human moment. Even Shelby.
Yeah.
Every now and then misses something.
Oh, happened.
That had to hurt.
It
No,
did.
but like I think most people wouldn't even think to do that.
I would
Yeah.
not have thought
I
of
would
that.
never even thought, oh my gosh.
We're going to go a little long with Shelby because we've got a couple more things we want to cover. Are you still doing the new home, new construction, new build thing that you've talked about the last few times?
Yeah.
What does it mean, and what should people be doing when they want to buy a new home?
Yeah, so when you're looking to buy a new home from a brand new builder, the way that I can kind of give back to everybody, I'm always looking out to help everybody that I can, and this is a great opportunity. So basically what you can do is, if you're looking for a brand new home build, give me a call prior to going into that sales office. So call me, say, hey, I'm looking at this Meritage home. We're going this weekend. Then I will call them. I'll put my name on the list, and you can get 50% of whatever that real estate commission is credited back from me. So on a $500,000 house, total commission would be around $15,000. So you get a $7,500 credit simply for calling me first.
Wow.
And going through the process with you.
Yeah.
They just have to finance through you, and
They don't necessarily have to use me for the finance part. You know, I'll hook
Just
them
as
up
the broker.
regardless.
Okay.
You know, of course, I'd love it, but I will definitely hook them up regardless. And even the new home builder, they have their own real estate agents that are going to guide them through, but they give me a reward for bringing my client to their home development, and that's what I'm sharing.
All right, I got one last non-real estate finance question that I want to throw at you. But before that, is there anything we've missed? Anything you want to mention other than Dream for All will be back? EEM is the big thing. Always contact Shelby first. He's on Instagram, Shelby Elias, ELIAS, financewithshelby.com.
Yeah, just contact me first for your real estate and your mortgage needs. I know a lot of people reach out to their realtor first and they try to stray them over to their loan officer, but the value that I give is not just here's what your payment is, good luck. It's a real strategy that's going to guide you through how to make the smartest financial decisions around buying a home.
And if you've been listening, you're like, my God, I love this guy, but I'm in escrow with someone else. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Give him a call.
Yeah.
We're
Things
gonna-
aren't working out.
We're going to pound that now, aren't you?
That is a powerful piece of information.
Yeah.
I mean, it honestly is. No, I don't think hardly anyone knows that.
Yeah.
All right, one more. Evelyn says, I tuned in late. What will the down payment be when the Dream for All program comes back?
The down payment is $0. They're giving you 20% down.
That's the whole point.
It's awesome.
All right, one more. Tammy says, how long will Shelby be running the EEM program? That's the Green Mortgage. Sorry if you already said it. I'm listening and working at the same time.
Yeah, we're doing this. It's a long-term loan, so I hope it never goes away. With the Inflation Reduction Act, there's a lot of money that's being given out for this, so we don't see it going away anytime soon. That Inflation Reduction Act is for the next 10 years.
John wants to know if you're licensed in Florida.
I can still help with the Florida loan, with the EM product.
Which is the answer for any state, right?
Yeah,
And it's just-
any state I can do that in for the energy efficient mortgage.
We have
product.
more and more people around the country, people that have left, people that are refinding us or whatever, and so
Yeah.
they really should know you are actually a national guy.
Oh,
They
yeah.
shouldn't be ashamed to reach out to you. All right, so yesterday we had a conversation about a news story that I wanted to get your take on as a parent, and you've never been afraid to at least chime in on some of these topics. Sort of
Yeah.
thing. So Illinois passed a law that entitles what they call child influencers to a percentage of the earnings made from the content that they're featured in by their parents. The idea, the way it works, is a really stupidly written law. It's convoluted. That's not the important part. The idea is that if a parent is making money through their social media and they are using their kids in the process of posting stuff, that they are supposed to be keeping track of how much money they're making, and they're supposed to be putting aside a certain percentage to give their kids, and their kids can sue them when they turn 18. It's a dumb law, but what I want to ask you about is, as a parent, you feature your family on Instagram all the
Yeah.
time. Your kids, your wife, your family. I looked this morning, I see a picture of your wife with your newborn. I see
Aw.
family photos. I see you and your boys.
Yeah.
Love it.
What is your thought as a parent of the idea of I'm using my kids on social media? Because in your case, you might not be getting direct funding, but you're getting people, you're getting followers, you're getting business.
Yeah.
And people might see your kids and go, I really like this guy. And then that adds to what you're making. Now, my argument is, well, then parents provide shelter and food and clothing and that's what, but this movement towards we're exploiting children, which
Yeah.
some do. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but where do you come down on this?
I think that, you're a parent, and overall, you are the one that's shepherding your kids and your family, and you're doing things for your family. So if I'm filming a TV commercial and my kids are in it, I'm the one that's ultimately responsible for everything that comes along with my family, good or bad. So, I would think that the parents, until they're 18, they have full choice and rule over their kids, and nobody should stand in the way of their parenting decisions. It's their decision to be making. So,
Which is a volatile issue across the country right now on a variety of issues: parent rights, parents being involved in education, other decisions being made, etc.
yeah,
How old's your oldest kid?
9.
Are they on it anyway? Are they on social media yet on their own?
No.
Do you have a plan? Have you and the wife decided when they'll have any exposure to that?
I think that maybe when he shows enough maturity to make the right decisions. So I'm like, okay, you fully understand what's going on here, and you know how to make the right choices, and you're not going to fall into some trap or.
Do they have cell phones?
No.
Good for you.
Yeah.
They don't.
That's amazing.
The old we at least give him a cell phone because there might be an emergency at school. None of that for you.
He has a watch that I can use as a tracker, and he can make phone calls off of them.
Love it.
But yeah,
Oh my
that's
God, I
that's
love
my
it.
prime. I
Yes.
want to see where he's at. He wears that to school, and he can call me from the phone. But it's inconvenient enough that he's not, gonna be doing dumb stuff. But yeah, I think that it's all about that. And a lot of people give celebrities a lot of heat because they bring their kids into this different world. But I also think that a lot of the younger celebrities are very mature. They grew up in a different world. So to me, that's what it's all about is, me having a good enough relationship with my kids to really understand where they're at emotionally and
Imagine that.
and that they can make good choices. And that is me, and that's my reflection upon my family is through my kids. So when they can show that to me, then they can earn it.
You have your pilot's license yet?
Not yet. I was revisiting that yesterday. I'm like, I really got to get on this. Hopefully I can have it soon, and we can endure a whole new life.
Yeah, that's an asking for a friend question.
Oh, it's
Finally,
such
I know
great-
a pilot. All right, man. Shelby Elias from financewithshelby.com. He's on Instagram under his name, Shelby Elias, Elias. Thank you so much for being here.